Hey guys, in today's tutorial we're going to show you how to use and set up the fair market value templates. To start off, we're going to go over to recycling and you're going to go down to ITAD fair market value price sheet. Now in these price sheets you have the ability to look through different price sheets that are already configured and set up. But for this illustration we're going to hit new and we're going to set up a new price sheet. On your first step you're going to want to set up the price sheet name. So over here we're going to call it FMV, CPU, and LCD pricing. And we'll call it for the month of May. And you could assign it to a customer, but in general you could leave it fully open if you want to apply it to many different contracts. Over here we're going to hit new. Now this is where you're going to start setting up your price sheets. Now for the FMV price, so what we're going to do, we're going to start configuring something. We'll do desktops i5 2nd gen with 8 gigabytes of memory, and we'll set up some of the pricing that we're going to pay would be $60 for that type of configuration. So you could configure this any way you like, but we're going to choose desktop. So this first field here is going to be the attribute sets in your system. So we would select desktops. Now if you wanted to price it off condition code, hard drive size, or different configurations, you have full capabilities of doing that here. But for this demo we're going to do CPU type, and we're going to say contains, and you have the option to select is, does not, so it's very configurable. But for this illustration a lot of people input in the CPU types in all different fashions, but we're going to do i5-2, and that's going to equal, basically it's going to cover everything that's an i5-2500, 2600, 2400. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add an additional rule, and we're going to say for desktops the memory size is or contains 8 gigabyte. Now that's going to cover everything that's an i5 2nd gen 8 gig. We're going to price out at $60. And below, these are basically everything has to equal in this block. If you wanted to add any other additional rules that are more of a or statement, so you'd be able to add additionals and say, desktop memory, hard drive size is, 500 gig, etc. So you would have those options. Now once you're done, you could hit save, or if you wanted to, you could copy the rule. The rule to copy is kind of easier if it was more in the or section or makes more sense. So let's say I removed that and it said any of the below, and we'll say memory size. Actually, we're going to go over to desktop and we'll say the memory size is, and you could start selecting these options like 8 gigabyte, and you could see there's a whole bunch of different variations, which is why I chose contains. But if you wanted to add all these variations just to the system, you could say 8 gigabytes DDR3, and we can start copying these rules. And then we'll do 8 gigabyte this, copy it, and it's very easy and very customizable, so you can really move quickly while doing this. But in general, I would have just deleted these all, and I would have said is contains 8 gigabyte, and that would cover all the different variations that we were looking to do. Now after you create your first line item, you could click that, hit copy, and what we're going to do is we're going to copy the next line item, and we're going to look at that, and that's going to, we're going to call it desktops i5 3rd gen, and we'll do an i5-3, and we'll make this one 16 gigabytes, and we'll hit save, and we would update the pricing here. So let's say we're going to pay $100 for that configuration. Then we'll click it, we'll hit copy, and then we'll go to the next one. And we're going to do a configuration. It's going to be a desktop i5 3rd gen, 8 gigabytes. And all these lines here, or these fields, these are all inline editable. So if you wanted to adjust the pricing like so, you have the ability to do that. So we're going to input the next line item. It's going to be a desktop i5 4th gen, 8 gigabytes. And we're going to make this pricing 100. So you can see how quick it is, and what's great about these rules, it really is going to allow you to submit pricing to your vendors or your customers and show them what kind of pricing you'll offer for a fair market value, but at the same time, it's going to cover all the different variations of products that you guys are bringing in, and allow you to minimize a lot of that human error that's going to occur when you're typically pricing this in a manual fashion. So just one more option. What we're going to do, we're going to do some LCDs and just kind of show you how that would work. So we're going to hit new, and over here we are going to type in, we're going to do a LCD monitor 19-inch, and for 19-inch monitors we're going to offer $15. So we'll go over to LCD monitor, and we'll say the size contains 19. Now that should cover basically everything we're looking for, but if you wanted to, kind of differentiate, between like a black monitor and a white monitor, you could call this black, and we could add another rule, and we'll say LCD monitor color is or contains, and we'll say black. So that's how you do that. We're going to add one more rule. We'll do 20-inch units here. So we'll do LCD monitor 20-inch, give it a good description. We'll say on the 20-inch pricing, we're going to pay $17.50, and we'll change this over to a 20, and we'll get rid of this row and hit save. So once you're done, you have your pricing for May. You have the ability to close out of this. We could go back and we could look up that May pricing. So you could just say May, do a quick search. We'll look up this one, hit edit. Or if you're ready for June, all you have to do is hit copy. And you have a copy over here. And what you're going to do is hit edit. And we're going to change this over to June. So you can see here, we'd go in and we could start adjusting pricing. $57.50, $97.50, $72.50, $97.50, $118, $12.50, $15. Now you can see how easy that was. It's a very scalable solution, and when you guys are in the settlement and you're going to price out your customer, as long as any of those attributes match the price sheet, it's going to auto price for you and save you a lot of time and headache. So that's how you use the fair market value sheets, and hope you enjoy it.